What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On this segment, we are going to talk about Stipe Miocic versus Tai Tuivasa. I guess you can call this one a fantasy fight breakdown. Tai Tuivasa did call out Stipe. He did express interest in fighting him after his great win over Derrick Lewis. Not sure if this one's going to happen. You never know. Let's talk about it anyway. Alright, so starting with, I don't even think it's arguably the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. Some people would say the greatest MMA heavyweight period of all time. Stipe Miocic, 39 years old, 6'4", 80-inch reach, mixed martial arts record, 20 wins, 4 losses, 15 wins by KO/TKO. He's been stopped himself 3 times via strikes. Like I said, just based off of accomplishments in the UFC, I don't even think it could be argued. He's the UFC heavyweight GOAT for sure. Former 2-time UFC heavyweight champ. Right now, Stipe is ranked number 2 in the UFC heavyweight rankings. He lost his last fight back at UFC 260 to Francis Ngannou, of course, via stoppage. Devastating knockout. Before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak, defeating DC. Once via unanimous decision. Before that, he stopped DC via strikes. DC beat him before that at UFC 226. And before that, Stipe Miocic was on a 6-fight win streak, beating the likes of Francis Ngannou, JDS, Alistair Overeem, Fabricio Verdum, Andrei Arlovski, and Mark Hunt. Hell of a resume. Now, as far as his skill set, Stipe has a great chin, very durable, super tough. I think he has great cardio. Obviously, knockout power. Stipe hits you, you're going to go to sleep or you're going to be hurt. Pretty damn solid boxing for a UFC heavyweight. He has a wrestling background, so the takedowns are there for him usually. And he's a pain in the butt to take down. Great submission defense, has never been tapped out. A little bit of his experience prior to MMA. NCAA Division I wrestler. Yeah, guys, Stipe, 39 years old, long storied career, one of the best to ever do it. That's a bad man. Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa, 29 years old, youth is on his side, young man, 6'2", 75-inch reach. He has a boxing background, a kickboxing background, mixed martial arts record, 14 wins, 3 losses, 13 wins via KO/TKO. Needless to say, Bam Bam could put you out. Right now, Tai Tuivasa is ranked number 3 in the UFC heavyweight rankings. Like I said earlier, amazing win over Derrick Lewis. Who stands toe-to-toe with Derrick Lewis and comes out on the winning end? That says a lot. He overcame big adversity in that fight. It looked like he was gonna be stopped. Ate a bunch of shots from Derrick Lewis, got back up to his feet, swinging, guns blazing, wins that firefight, puts Derrick Lewis's lights out. Before that Derrick Lewis win, Tai was on a 4-fight win streak. All stoppages via strikes. Let me drop those names: Augusto Sakai, Greg Hardy, Harry Hunsucker, Stefan Struve. Alright guys, the matchup. How could this fight possibly play out in that UFC cage? Of course, all from my perspective, my viewpoints. Well, experience in MMA, Stipe Miocic has a little bit of that over Tai Tuivasa. Not quite sure about combat sport experience in general. Tai, like I said, has that boxing and kickboxing background combined with MMA. Very seasoned, experienced combat athlete, especially in the striking department. Let's start with the stand-up. Well, I'm going to say that I think Stipe has cleaner boxing. Stipe has some beautiful boxing. For a UFC heavyweight, of course. He has great body shots. He utilizes his jab great. Strings together great combinations. Mixes it up. Body to head, head to body. He touches you, he's going to hurt you. Tai Tuivasa is a little bit more fluid, a little more comfortable on the feet to me. He can be technical if he wants to be. Certainly the knowledge and experience is there. But Tai just likes to let loose and bang it out. Power, I'm going to have to give it to Tai. But it's close. Stipe could crack, man. I think they both could stop each other on the feet. I think Tai's a little bit more dangerous though. Even though Stipe throws leg kicks, if we're talking about their overall striking game, Tai Tuivasa got some really effective low kicks. The grappling, wrestling, definitely going to Stipe. I feel like the takedowns could possibly be there depending if he times it. Gets Tai to engage, throw something, duck under, shoot in, get in on his hips, or if Stipe herds him against the cage, he can initiate a clinch situation, work a takedown from there. Yes, I could see that happening for sure. But the thing is, getting in on Tai, man, you have to get in range to grab him. And if you're in range to grab him, you're in range to get punched. So it's risky. Also, Stipe's 39. He's been in a lot of battles and wars. I'm not saying he's chinny, but he has been knocked out cold. He was knocked out cold in his last fight. So that's something he would have to be really cautious about. Getting clipped in general with Tai. Cardio and conditioning, I'm going to give it to Stipe. Stipe has like this newfound cardio and conditioning. You could tell he slimmed down a bit. Not sure if that's going to help him with his durability. The way he takes hard shots, I think it might actually hurt him a little bit. But cardio and conditioning is so important in MMA and combat sports in general. That's something you learn early on stepping into a gym. Cardio is king. Gotta give it to Stipe for sure. Tai could go though. Tai could go. It's not like he's a slouch in the cardio department for a big guy. Toughness, man, both of these guys are animals. Probably about equal. They both could rally back. Both animals and savages. So ultimately, who do I have winning this fight? It's a good fight. It's a good fight. Especially at this point in Stipe's career and this point in Tai's career. Things kind of balance out. Absolute prime Stipe when he was younger, I would heavily favor Stipe. Right now, I would still favor Stipe, but not as much. I like the way Stipe mixes things up. He's a very smart fighter. I don't see him just banging it out with Tai Tuivasa, even though Stipe is inclined to do that sometimes. But he's a smart guy again. I think he would attack Tai's weaknesses. One of the weaknesses, I think, the grappling and wrestling. I think Stipe can get the fight to the mat. I think he could soften Tai Tuivasa up, similar to what he did to Francis Ngannou in the first fight, which is how he should have fought in the second fight. Should have went for a lot more takedowns, should have tried to clinch more, tire Francis out, but I'm not going to go into that rant. But the first fight, yes, that strategy might very well work against Tai Tuivasa. Soften him up the first couple of rounds, then he's going to be a lot easier to deal with on the feet going forward. So I think the path to victory for Stipe is to utilize wrestling, utilize grappling for sure. He's formidable on the feet enough where it'll be competitive standing. He wouldn't have to go for desperation takedowns, but he has to be really careful with Tai Tuivasa's power and his speed. Because Tai could crack, man, and he's explosive for a big guy. He's very deceptive. Tai has to have the reverse game plan. Don't get taken down. Work on that takedown offense. When you land on Stipe, when you throw shots, make them count. Make them count, do damage. He would have to be careful with overcommitting, and his awareness of takedown attempts have to be sharp and on point. Because if he gets taken down, that may be the round right there. He might not be able to get up, and he's just going to get pounded on by Stipe. So circle, keep his back off the cage, try to control the center of the octagon, maybe avoid throwing kicks, because Stipe could catch a kick, score a takedown from there, save the kicks for the later rounds. If I had to put a ratio on this fight, I'm going to say 60-40 Stipe Miocic. I know that ratio is probably crazy to some people, but I'm taking into account Stipe's age, the battle damage. He's been in a lot of wars and fights, guys. I think Stipe being a little bit out of his prime balances this fight out. So I'm going with Stipe Miocic, 60-40. Maybe stoppage from strikes, ground and pound. Maybe a submission will present itself. But I think more likely via decision, because Tai's super tough. And once again, that path to victory for Stipe is going to be mixing things up. And it's super crucial and imperative that he wrestles. So that's all I got, guys. those are my thoughts on this fight. That's my pick. You let me know in the comment section who takes this fight and why. Would you like to see it? Do you think Tai is deserving of that fight right now? Do you think it's a step down for Stipe? Or do you think it's a good fight for him? I don't think it's going to happen, but again, you never know. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like and share, as that helps the channel grow. Appreciate that, guys, to the max. I will catch you all on the next video. Until then, you take care, my friends.